Guys, it's kind of crazy. For years now, I've been obsessing over how can I speed up success? How can I get to my goal a lot quicker than the average person? And I think finally I kind of cracked it and broke it down to the three main principles, and that's what I want to show you today. So guys, kind of what I mean by this is, if you look at, say for example, going from zero to $1 million in profit. Someone else that might take them 10 years. You know, you're making 100,000 a year income profit. That's still pretty admirable. So to do $1 million in 10 years, that's cool. But you know, my goal is to come in and do this in 1 year, right? Rather than 10. How can I speed that up? Or let's say take someone who's in the same sort of mental space as an angry taxi driver, and not to say that all taxi drivers are angry, but you kind of know what I mean by that. You get in a taxi or sometimes an Uber, for example, and the taxi driver is just kind of pissed about everything in life and complains about the government and taxes and all valid points, but still, they're coming from a really low emotional state. All the way to say someone like Tony Robbins, who really knows how to control his emotional state, and say that process, maybe not to get to Tony Robbins level, but say that process takes 10 years. So, the question I ask myself every day is, screw that. How can I get there in, this one is really poor, but how can I get there in 1 year? And guys, this is going to be the topic of today's video. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Now, for each of these three ways, I'm gonna give you how I'm doing and my own personal perspective on it, because I think it's important that if you're listening to me, you know that I actually do this. I'm not just someone who talks about it. So the three ways, first of all, and these are pretty much the three pillars. If you want to take something that takes 10 years and you want to bend sort of time and you want to use it to your advantage and you really want to speed up the process, which is a lot of you guys. I know a lot of you guys are hustling and grinding and really just banging your head against the wall, not in a bad way, but because you want to get to where you want to get to and you want to get there quicker. So I'm in exactly the same boat as you, so let's get into it. So number one, and this is probably the most talked about one, work harder. Okay, and Sol, who is my employee, Sol, can you go ahead and put some cool number one, and then just do the same for the rest of them. So number one, work harder. Now, that is the one that I think most people focus on, and I think out of these three that I'm going to list, it is actually the one that is by far the least important. And let me show you what I mean by that. You get someone who works in, you get a train driver, or let's just say you get a taxi driver. Some of these Uber drivers, I hop in my Uber and I talk to them about their work shift. You get an Uber. These people work. One of them that I talked to 2 weeks ago, he said he worked 12, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I asked him, look, after the price of your car, after petrol, after insurance, after everything taken, how much you usually make a month? And he said around 2,400 pounds, which is roughly $3,000. So to work 14-hour days, 7 days a week, to sacrifice all of that for your life, to only be making $3,000 a month, look, that guy works harder. That guy could probably kill me if it came to, just having an intense work period. Now, the thing is, he doesn't know how to put his mind to the hard work that I do, for example, which is also one key difference. But let's say someone who works in, someone who definitely has to be very sharp. I don't know, say an accountant, for example, right? An accountant working for an accounting firm at a decent level, right? Say that person's making 100K a year. That person probably has to work 10, 12, 14-hour days, completely work way over their shift. They just have to kill themselves, and at the end of it all, they're left with 100,000. So guys, that is my point with working harder. I want you to, all three of these that I'm going to list for you, and it's the same with me, it's the one that I want you to rely on the least, because honestly, it is the least important by far. Okay, so of all three, this is the one that I want to be the last resort. Once you max out the other two, then you can go ahead and focus on this last one. Okay, so that is number one, work hard. Now, question is, do I work hard? Honestly, what I'll do in 4 hours will crush what you'll do in 40 hours. And that's just me being entirely honest, because I focus on really, really intense work in the morning, and that is kind of what we'll get to in point number 2. So it doesn't matter if someone else outworks me, because they're not really doing work. Like, you know, they're networking and they're replying to DMs and they're like, you know, like just they're going nowhere fast, and they're never auditing what they're actually doing. So do I work hard? I definitely work hard. Also, when I work, I actually work. I don't have this weird thing where I'm on Facebook and I'm on YouTube, or like I'm working but I'm listening to music. You know, I listen to music between like my work blocks and stuff like that. But when I listen, for example, when I work, quick tip for you guys, I use binaural beats, because I'm very, you know, I'm still young. I'm very like go, go, go. So I'll use something like this. I think a couple of you guys have noticed this before. I don't know if this will even focus, but these are the Bose Quiet Comfort 350 thingy mabob. I don't really know. Quiet Comforts, I think they are. I use that headphones and I listen to binaural beats. So guys, that is number 1, work hard. Number 2, so roll the cool thing that you're gonna do for this. Work smart. And this is, to me, this is the go-to. This is the pillar that everyone needs to start off with. And I am also gonna go ahead and change this exposure. So it is the pillar, it is the thing that you should start with. Now, to give you guys, and by the way, I fall off this all the time because of the distractions in this world. Work smarter, okay? So to give you guys an idea of my schedule, I wake up at 5:30. I go in that kitchen, you know, I make my coffee, my lemon water, so I squeeze lemon into some water. Then I sit at that desk, I do my 5-minute journal. I look at my like calendar for the day, get an idea as to what I need to do for the day. And then I will head off to the gym or tennis. So now that it's become summer, you know, I've always wanted to learn tennis. I started learning tennis last summer once I started to make a bit of money for myself. So I take one-on-one tennis lessons. Very like posh fucking thing to do, but you know, I've always wanted to learn tennis. It's a very selfish sport, and I like to lose. And if I lose, I want it to be because of me, and if I win, I want it to be because of me. I'm very much like a lone wolf. So I'll go to the gym, or I'll go to tennis, or I'll do whatever it is that I do, steam room, sauna. Then I'm back, and I'm back at my desk by 8 o'clock. Now from 8 o'clock until 1 is like my holy time. My phone isn't on. The only time my phone turns on in the day is when I need to call an Uber to either get to the tennis courts, or I call an Uber to get to the gym, because getting an Uber to the gym saves me 10 minutes there. Saves me 10 minutes there and 10 minutes back. That's 20 minutes of my day saved, and it only costs me like $10, $15. Okay, so my phone I don't look at my phone up until 1 o'clock. Now, once again, I've fallen off this the past few weeks, which I'm ashamed to say, but I've fallen off it simply because there's so many distractions, and sometimes I have to communicate with employees and team members, so I have to turn my phone on for WhatsApp or whatever it may be. So work smart, okay? And this is really why I say that in that 4 hours between 8 to 1 o'clock with 20-minute breaks in between, I will get more done than most people will get done in an entire work week, because it's intense, it's targeted, and it's just like, you know, and I just know what I'm doing. You know, when from the moment I wake up, from the moment I set my to-do the night before, where I have a macro overview of what I want from this year, I look at my goals, I look at what I need to do, and then I hone in, and then I look at the month, and then I go, okay, from these month's goals, what can I do tomorrow to accomplish that? So even from the night before up until the morning, where I'm looking at that, where I'm looking at what's in store for the day, I know exactly what to do. Right, I know exactly what to do, and I know exactly what for example, in the business, what the IPAs are, income producing activities are. I know exactly what I need to do to take my health to the next level, to take my relationships to the next level, to do this, to do that, okay? So that is number 2, and this is way more important than working hard. It's working smart, and it's working smart at the right thing. Because once again, you can work hard, you can work smart, but if you are in accounting, if you work for someone, it doesn't matter. Like, there's no room to grow. There's a glass ceiling. If you do that, say for example, in you know, even if you're doing, say, something like Amazon FBA, and you're waiting for your product to come in or something like that, like, it doesn't matter if you work hard or you work smart, because there's nothing you can really do to move your business forward to make more money. Okay, Or to give you another example, I don't know, say something like cryptocurrency. Say you're a cryptocurrency investor, like everyone is. You know, I have quite a bit of money invested in cryptocurrencies, but that's just to the side. I've talked about this before. It's almost like sunk cost to me. But if you're investing in cryptocurrencies or making investments in general and you're not day trading, how are you meant to work harder or work smarter? There's physically nothing you can do. So you have to be working hard, or well, preferably smart over hard, but at the right thing. And that's one of the biggest reasons I see so many people screw up. The only reason I was able to go from broke 18 months ago to making $1 million a year income, nearly there, but making $1 million a year income this year, I'm 100% gonna make $1 million, if not reaching for $2 million. The only reason I have the audacity to say that and do that is because I'm in the right vehicle. Right? I have my financial vehicles where there's room to scale. And because for my marketing agency, I sell information and services. For my digital products, I sell information. And for my affiliate marketing, I sell pretty much information where someone else delivers it. You know, I can scale pretty much infinitely. So guys, number one, work hard. Number two, work smart, which is far more important. And number three, and this has been so big and so crucial for me, it is just buy success, right? And I tell this story, I've told this story quite a few times, of one of my mentors around like 10 months ago, and he told me literally, Iman, he's just like, buy success. And I'm like, can you send me an Amazon link, because I'll buy 100 of them, you know? And he's like, no, just pay for someone's time who's already been there, right? Invest in seminars, invest in courses, invest in coaches. And guys, one thing that I really don't like seeing, and I see it all the time, it's quite hilarious and entertaining to me, especially because I know a lot of these people. A lot of people will say invest in yourself, and they don't invest in themselves at all. And you know, you guys know I like to lead by example here. So this month, once again, every month I try to invest around 10% of my company's profits. This month I did a little bit more than that. I'll show you guys a little bit as to some of the self-education I did this month. All right guys, so as I said, I try to invest 10% of my company profits back into self-education every single month. So this month we started off with, if that is gonna load, okay, yeah, there it is. So we have up-level consulting. So this is an online program, $5,800, as you can see right there. So that's number one. Number two, we have Perfect Life. So this is Craig Ballantyne, his $5,000 mastermind. This is $5,000 for literally a one-day mastermind. And it's actually cool. They are hosting it here at my house. So that's gonna be quite dope. And then here is another one. This is actually my meditation coach. And you can see right there, 400 pounds, which is roughly $500. And that is once or twice a week. So that is also a meditation coach. So that $500 is once or twice a week, depending on schedules and stuff like that. So once again, that's a few $1,000s literally just gone towards my meditation coach. So the reason I want to show you that is because I think a lot of people talk about what they do, but they don't actually do it. So you can see literally right there, this month spent roughly around, between some of the other coaches and products that I got as well, roughly around $15,000 on self-education. So a bit more than 10% of company profits this month, but it was worth it. So there you go. There's living proof and testimony right there. So the reason, as I said, one of the biggest reasons I would say that I've had such an accelerated growth is because I invested over $25,000 in self-education last year, right? You've seen me bring on, I've brought on my energy coach, I've brought on a cryptocurrency coach that I was working with. I think I brought on my Facebook ads coach, I can't remember. I've brought on all these people, and you've seen all these people. And investing in myself has been the biggest thing, because once again, you know, say someone else went on that path, and they went on that path to say like $10 million, and it took them 10 years. By just picking their brain, I could pretty much half that time. You know, I can do it half the amount of time, or a third, or even, you know, a fifth the amount of time. Okay, and that has really been super key. So guys, you know, like everyone says it, but it really is true. Just invest in yourself, and invest in yourself in your own education. Because here's the thing, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if someone seems expensive, it's because they're worth it. Like, you know, if a coach or a program seems expensive to you, I purposely try to go for the more expensive coaches and programs and stuff like that, because I know they're worth it. You know, I'd rather have, you know, one premium course than all these small little shitty ones, or I'd rather have like, you know, one person who may be expensive, right? Maybe they, like, sure, they are expensive per hour or per day, but I'd rather have that one person than those 3-4 other shitty people and skimp out on my own self-education. So guys, seriously, you know, self-education has been huge for me. And luckily, if most of you guys, even if you guys are sole trader or even just an LTD, you have to look at the laws in your country. Obviously, I'm a limited company, but even when I was a sole trader, you can company expense most of the stuff as company training. So guys, work hard, meh, it's okay. Overrated. Work smart, probably the biggest one and the go-to. And then secondly, just buy success anywhere you see it, and you can honestly vouch for the person, and you really resonate with their message. Go ahead and just buy success from them. Okay, that is my biggest tip and biggest key. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this. For all of you guys out there who are chasing your dreams, chasing success, I feel your pain every single day I wake up, and you have to be patient, right? And there are things you can do, like work hard, work smart, buy success. There's also 1,000 other variables, but those are some of those the three main things. You know, I wake up every day and, you know, I just want to, you know, just speed things up, and I want to make things quicker and stuff like that. And I kind of have to remind myself to be patient, and I think we all do. But seriously, just as long as you are working on those three things and you're doing them properly, then really there's not much else you can do. And it's just a matter of the fourth variable, which no one really talks about or doesn't talk about as much, which is just time. You know, if you look at that timeline that I kind of drew out, let's say to make $1 million profit, you can do things to shrink down that timeline, but at the end of the day, there will always be that timeline. You know, time is just the variable to where you want to get to. Okay, so guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will go ahead and see you in the next one. Much love, guys. Bye bye.